Hello again, friends. Welcome back. Today we are doing a very different style of video than what I usually do on this channel, but I thought it would be fun. We are delving into my logo design process today. I'm going to talk you through some of the steps as we go along, but let's get right into it. Before I could start designing, I had to know who I was designing for, so I did a scroll through a couple accounts on Instagram for a design brief that I liked. I ended up picking an old prompt from the Brief Club page for True Blend Coffee. The first stage of my design process is what I like to call my exploration stage. This is where I pick a handful of fonts, colors, and draft up some icons that I feel will represent the brand effectively. I'm starting with the color palette since that's usually what my clients have the most opinions on, which is very valid since color can really make or break your brand. I don't show them drafts with the color until the final stage since it can distract from the design itself. However, having an idea for the color palette can sometimes help to guide the direction of the rest of the design. For True Blend, I wanted something warm and youthful. I thought a pop of green would be fun, but it looked too much like a sports team, so I cut it out pretty quickly, which left me with brown, peach, gold, and cream. I played around with some different tones, and once I had a palette I liked, I did a contrast test. I always like to do this to confirm whether I have enough contrast between the colors and if there are any colors in the palette that shouldn't be used on top of each other. This one turned out pretty nicely. The only colors I can't put on top of each other are, of course, the yellow and the cream. Now on to my favorite part of exploration, fonts. I like to pull the name of the business to the side of my artboard and just copy and paste it in a ton of different fonts that might be good contenders. I basically do this until I've exhausted my font library, and then I narrow it down to my favorites and add them to the template. I never give my clients more than a few options to choose from because it can get really overwhelming. Usually I select a few title fonts and subtitle fonts, but in this case, I was being a little lazy and I just picked title fonts. Now, a little bit on this template that I'm using, I created this as a bit of a design buffet to send to my clients after I've worked through the exploration stage, and I found it to be really helpful because it avoids a lot of confusion and unnecessary back and forth, and it makes the process much more collaborative. So instead of sending off a draft of a full logo and risking the client not liking it, they're essentially getting to build it with me, which I think is just awesome. Now I get to start playing with some icon ideas. The name True Blend reminds me of the phrase true love. Princess Bride fans sound off in the comments. And who doesn't love finding a heart in their latte? I tried to replicate some latte art, but it wasn't turning out quite right, and it would be a little bit too much if the logo was printed really small, so I just kept the heart on its own. At this point, once my design buffet is all filled in, I'd send it off to the client for feedback. Once I've gotten the client's feedback and we know which fonts, colors, and icons to move forward with, we'll move on to the second stage and start drafting some logos. I don't have a certain number of designs that I deliver, I just kind of see what all I can come up with. And I had a lot of ideas of variations for True Blend, and I ended up putting 11 of them on the concepts board. I tell my clients that they're more than welcome to ask to merge two concepts together, especially since their eyes may be seeing options mine missed. I know a lot of designers don't like being asked to combine concepts, but it's worked for me in the past, so I'm always up for it, but I will also let you know if it might not work out. Lastly, we finalize the designs and add color. There's a lot going on in this stage, but to summarize, I make sure my line weights and my icons are balanced. I make sure everything is scalable by outlining my text and strokes and combining pieces that need to be combined, and I make sure anything that's meant to be transparent is actually transparent. I build the official final logo designs, add colors, and make sure to include full black and full white options. I almost forget the white options a lot. Then I save the files as transparent PNGs in whatever format of vector file they need, and the project is complete. I created a little animated version of this logo since I've been trying to practice that more, and I stuck the logos on some mock-ups just to make it look even more official. And that, my friends, is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment if you stayed through the whole thing, letting me know your favorite coffee shop, whether it's a local one or a chain. Coffee is coffee. And subscribe if you haven't already. And whatever you get up to today, no matter the weather, always bring your own sunshine. Bye.